Hi guys, welcome back to another show of the intriguing history of color. Miss Amanda here from the Wilmington Public Library, going to talk about the color green, which is the color of Miss Amanda's eyes and Miss Amanda's favorite color. I love green. Green is very interesting. We have a lot of things to talk about, like another thing. All these colors, like red was poisonous, but green was the most poisonous color on the wheel. Every color has a story, and the color green is no different. Today, it's the most commonly associated with nature. I really like nature. Nature is green. Nature is also our secret word. Chlorophyll is the photosynthetic pigment found in plants that allows them to have their fresh, calming hue. This rich color has been all around us as a constant since the beginning of time, as far as we know. So it may seem strange to think of it as something with a past, but the verdant hue has a rich history filled with challenges. In fact, the color green didn't come so naturally to those who tried to manufacture it as a pigment for paintings or decorating objects. At first, the hue was notorious for being a hard color to come by, and its pigments have been some of the most poisonous in history, but not nature. Ancient green. People have tried for centuries to make a truly green pigment. In ancient Egypt, green was the symbol of regeneration and rebirth. They tried using the copper mineral malachite to paint on tomb walls. However, it was expensive and easily turned black over time. The ancient Romans came up with a solution to soak copper plates in wine and create a verdigris, a green pigment that comes after weathering metal. Weathering metal. Metal can get weathered in nature. This is the same green hue you would see today on painting, metal roofs, old coins, and sculptures. The ancient Romans used this pigment on mosaics and stained glasses. The early hue was also used by medieval monks to color manuscripts. And this is what it would look like when it was all weathered and changed color. Renaissance green. In the Middle Ages, the color of clothing indicated a person's social rank and profession. Red was worn by nobility, while brown and gray were worn by peasants. Green was worn by merchants, bankers, and the bride in the Arnolfini portrait by Jane van Eyck in 1434 wears a bright green dress, signifying the status and wealth of her family. This is the portrait, and that is the green. That green right there. During this time, more green pigments were developed from natural minerals such as plants, but the colors always faded over time. Early Renaissance painters painted faces with green undercoat, then added pink. It gave the faces a more realistic hue. However, over the centuries, the pink faded making some faces appear sickly green. Toxic green. In 1775, Swedish chemist Carl Scheele invented a deadly bright green hue made with the toxic chemical arsenite called Scheele green. It was so popular that by the end of the 19th century, it had replaced the earlier mineral and vegetable dyes, but its invention came with a price. Scheele's green was used on paper, wall hangers, fabrics, and even children's toys. Some 19th century journalists contain reports of children becoming ill in bright green rooms and ladies in green dresses becoming sick from the consuming toxic vapors. Historians believe the pigments caused by the death of the French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte in 1821, as his bedroom wall featured the deadly hue. Probably should have slept outside or camped outside in nature with its green. By the end of the 19th century, a similar pigment called Paris green replaced Scheele's green. However, this was still very highly toxic. This was the pigment used by the French Impressionists such as Claude Monet, Cézanne, and Renoir to create their lush green landscape. Some believe the pigment may have been responsible for Cézanne's diabetes and Monet's blindness. Paris green was eventually banned in the 1960s. Crazy, huh? That is the green that they used. Green is a symbol of renewal. Today, green is associated with being environmentally conscious. Being green, as some might say, like recycling, taking care of nature. Being green, some might say, the color is a symbol of sustainability and eco-friendliness. However, many versions of the color green are still damaging to every aspect of nature. Despite all of the modern advances in color technology, producing green dyes and pigments is still difficult, and many hues considered to feature toxic substance. One of the most common shades today is called Pigment Green 7, used in plastic and paper. It contains chlorine, which, when consumed, is known to lead to illness and even death. Another popular hue is Pigment Green 36, which also includes chlorine and potentially hazardous brominated atoms. Moreover, the popular bright pigment green 50 is a toxic cocktail of cobalt, titanium, nickel, and zinc oxide. Despite its harmful chemical makeup, green is still associated with positive feelings, such as vitality, freshness, calmness, revival. In fact, Pantone revealed its color of the year as greenery in 2007. The company describes the life-affirming shade as a fresh and zesty yellow-green shade that invokes the first day of spring, when nature's green, revive, restore, and renew all its flourishing foliage and the lushness of the great outdoors, nature. So, today, the greenery signals consumers to take a deep breath and relax, enjoy the scenery and life's greeniness. How do you feel when you're looking at green? Do you feel happy? Do you feel worried? Do you feel calm? Do you feel zen? I feel zen. I love green. Throughout history, artists have used the color to invoke certain emotions or to emphasize a number of viewpoints and concerns. The color green is typically associated with nature. Presently, as the concern about our environment is growing, the color green seems to be everywhere, not only at least a fashion trend, but as a strong symbol of serenity and new beginnings. A fresh, zesty green is considered to be the world's most calming color. So, like people said when we talked about orange being least favorite color, green is actually a very popular color. People feel more at ease when they're looking at green. That's why a lot of um, here. So, the symbolic meaning of the color green. Since the beginning of time, artists, shamans, and leaders used the earth pigments to produce a variety of shades as early as the 40,000 years ago. The first pigments of a combination of soil, animal fat, burnt charcoal, and chalk create a basic palette of 4 colors: red, yellow, black, and white. Now, green is not a primary color. Did you all know that? I bet you did. Since then, history of colors such as the tale of the blue art pigment reflects the history of a major discoveries of the world. For some, the trail of the blue pigment takes us into an entirely new world which will forever remain out of reach and enters the world of magic and a variety of art. Ooh, we should read that book. As such, the blue heroic meaning. It is considered to tell stories of Robin Hood. In China, the color represents disgrace, while in Japan, green signifies eternal life. The color green, considered as one of the most pleasing colors of the color wheel, also created an atmosphere of serenity and calmness. Because of this, many architects and designers implement it in their projects, especially in interior designs of hospitals. Ooh, I've noticed that when I go to hospital or places, there are a lot of green in the room, green and gray. But surprisingly, a lot of people love green. Behind the veil of the peaceful symbolism and meaning of the history of the color green reveals a deadly fact, that it is one of the most poisonous, toxic colors of all time. So, that is kind of funny because it means peace, serenity, and calmness. That's what it means. But on the other hand, it's deadly and toxic and could kill you. People could not wear them or be in the same rooms. And all the baby toys, they were all painted with toxic green. How crazy is that? Producing the deadly hue was the Swedish. The particular hue connected to the color pigments and the toxic chemical was way too much for people to handle. So they came up with a new toxic green. Of course they did. But by the 1960s, this green color was banned. So all toxic green colors were banned by the 1960s. So today we still have some green toxic, but not in Crayola or washables or at the library or anywhere else. So, I hope you love this short history of green, and if you listen to how many times I said the secret word today, call us up at the library. Until next time, friends, stay green, and I mean serenity and zen, not like toxic. Bye.